All right. David Harrison at D Harrison 82 on Twitter at Clancy's Corner. Finally got my Twitter back, man. Woo! I feel alive. David, pass to victory. I have no idea what you're going to say. I know you sent me a little text. Pass to victory.
Yeah.
I'm actually really curious about what they need to emphasize.
Yeah, so the three things that the Washington Commanders have to do in order to win this game is, number one, contain Kyler Murray. Number two, you can't get out physical by James Conner. Number three, you can't get caught up in the hype of coming back to Arizona. Those are the three things you got to do. And Alex, I'll let you pick which one is most intriguing to you, and we can dissect that one first.
Yeah, I think it's the rush attack because of how poorly the Cardinals ran the ball last week. That's so boring. But the rush attack is so important to the Arizona Cardinals offense and the ability to move the ball down the field. That's the biggest one for me. I'd like to hear more about.
Yeah, I mean, it's been really interesting to me. And, again, I've only been to watch 2/3 of the games this year, so there is that grain of salt that needs to be thrown in here. But it looks to me that this Arizona Cardinals offense, they really like to get Connor going. Especially that Buffalo Bills game, like 10, I think it was like 10 of the first 12 touches all went his way, and they were physical, and the Bills were trying to stand up, and it was a heavyweight bout, and I was like, man, this is like old school football. And then just gradually they kind of just go away from it. And then watching that Lions game, it was almost the same, like not quite as heavy, right, the workload, but like there was a lot of physicality, and I feel like he's really kind of the physical part of the Cardinals offense. And there was a lot of physicality early, but then especially as they weren't able to kind of take the lead, and the Lions kind of held that lead, and some of the fourth downs didn't work out. Like they just kind of went away from that part of the game. And I just wish that they would just kind of stick there, like looking at like a Cardinals potential success thing. And I look at the Washington Commanders, and if there's one thing that they haven't been able to do against opponents this season, even though they're 2-1, is stand up to bullies. Mike Evans pushed them around. Chris Godwin pushed them around. Bucky Irving, different sort of physical skill, right? Speed, agility, ability to get through the gap quick and accelerate, push them around. Then you go to New York, the only bully they got, Malik Neighbors, 2-game career at the time, but he had a career day, but it was a very good day nonetheless, even if it is only a two-game career day. And then you go to Cincinnati, and again, Joe Burrow, one of the best days of his career. If you look at Joe Burrow's stat line and every other stat line he's had like that in his career, this is the only time he's ever lost a game like that. Jamar Chase, same thing. Look at that stat line, all those stat lines in his career, only time he's ever lost this game with that type of a stat line. Zach Moss was doing his thing. Like, this Washington Commanders defense so far can get bullied. So the Arizona Cardinals come out and establish some of that bullying physicality with their running back, which if I'm an offensive coordinator looking at this defense, that's exactly what I'm doing. But then they go away from it. I think that's going to be frustrating for Cardinals fans.
Yeah, it's the they don't know who they are yet thing. Mm-hmm. It's not that, okay? They're almost there, and they don't have, obviously, because they only put up 3 points in the second half while blanking Detroit last week, they don't have an alternative if they're not able to move the rock running the ball right away. And I think that's something it's borderline terrifying, where it's like they're going to figure it out. It's going to be fine. I think you're going to see a lot more play action. I think you're going to see a lot more passes from Kyler Murray, because here's the thing, David. Kyler Murray is the most talented player on the team. Mm-hmm. The more he has the ball in his hand, the better the opportunity for great things to happen. So while running the ball, and I think Drew Petzing's a run-first guy, and I've said it all year, this is going to be a run-first offense, unless Marvin Harrison Jr. is that good where it's like, okay, you kind of need to shift a little bit. So as we're pivoting to the keys to victory for the Cardinals, this is the first game where I've said 15 targets. Mm-hmm. See what the kid's got. And you need to do them in all ways. Okay, so the touchdowns he's caught, varying degrees. Okay, he had the crossing route, which was a great play call by Drew Petzing. Kyler Murray dropped it in the bucket. He beat two defenders. Masterful. Kyler Murray's interception was a Hail Mary ball from the 30-yard line into double coverage. It's like, you need smart, concise, zipped-in targets, not to get him going. He doesn't need the juice anymore. He's already there. Mm-hmm. You need to get him the ball in chunk situations. 15 targets, I don't think it's outside of the realm of normalcy. He had 11 last week, I think. That's number one for me. It's like, okay, we've got our sea legs here. You've got a defense you can exploit. Go do it. And I know Jeremy Chin still gives me the chills. Like, I know that he's a guy people don't really talk about anymore. I don't really understand why. But Marvin Harrison Jr., number one. That's a number one guy. Number two is the Cardinals need to make Jaden Daniels a runner of the football. Like, keep everything in front of you. Little paper cuts are fine. The Terry McLaurin stuff can't happen. Yeah. Because of how electric he is with his feet, make him just do that, and that will slow down any sort of momentum you have with the pass catchers. Now, Zach Ertz is going to get his. Naturally, I'm sure Brian Robinson will have an uptick with Austin Eckler out. Cliff Kingsbury, he had the most passes behind the line of scrimmage in the NFL by 20% through 2 weeks. Like, we know what Cliff's offense is kind of like. We don't know what Jaden Daniels' legs look like in an NFL, on an NFL field at State Farm Stadium. Keeping him in front of you is a massive, massive task. And it's going to need to happen for the Cardinals to win. And then finally, time of possession. Like, even if the Cardinals turn the ball over, their offense is good enough to where they can recoup against Washington. Time of possession, they got bludgeoned last week. I think they were only on the field 24 minutes. It can't happen. With the defense that the Cardinals have, it can't happen. The offense needs to be on the field at least half the game.
Yeah, I mean, and it was the opposite against Buffalo Bills early, right? Like, they dominated the time of possession. And I think both of these teams kind of understand, right? The more our quarterback has the ball in his hands, the better off we're going to be. So this game, I mean, bro, this thing kicks off at, 4:05 Eastern, 1:05 local. I mean, I don't know. We might be out of there by 3 p.m. You know what I mean? And that's I'm hyperbolizing here, but this clock may just be running, and these guys may not. We may have like 5 possessions per team, so it's going to be really interesting. But yeah, I mean, I look at this, and I look at the Washington Commanders, and I think that's absolutely what they're going to try to do is control the clock. And you're right, both sides of the ball, both defensive lines, pass rushing units, front sevens, however you want to describe them, have got to just be getting drilled through their head today. Do not run past the quarterback. Do not rush beyond the quarterback, because both of these quarterbacks will absolutely kill you. If you're looking at the backside of that quarterback because you ran past him, you're toast. And that could very well be the determining factor in this game, is which defensive pass rush loses discipline first.
Yeah, and then one key thing just to keep in the back of your mind, the Cardinals had a very, very difficult time getting off the field against Josh Allen on 3rd and longs. There were multiple 3rd and longs where Josh Allen just, nobody's open, tuck it, I'm gone. That's something that Jaden Daniels is more than capable of doing. The Cardinals getting off the field on 3rd down, especially when they put themselves in a situation to do just that, and then an elite quarterback has other ideas, that's something the Cardinals are absolutely going to have to do if they want to win this game.